If these puppet politicians want to represent billionaires instead of the people, then they should lose their jobs in the people's house.
In today's news studio, an expansive and dramatic picture of the destructive political agenda in the United States, an unprecedented economic escalation with Canada, and a rapid loss of trust in Tesla across Europe. This is not just a collection of news stories. It is a chronicle of profound shifts shaking the foundations of global politics, finance, and public consciousness. At the center of our focus are urgent questions. Who controls the future? Who suffers from elite decisions? And where is the international order headed? Let us begin with a high-profile incident broadcast live on Fox News. During a discussion of the latest initiatives from the Trump administration, Congressman Greg Casar interrupted the program with a furious statement. His declaration struck at the very heart of the political establishment. If these puppet politicians want to represent billionaires and not the people, they have no place in the people's house. He exposed plans for massive cuts to social programs, Medicaid, Medicare, retirement benefits, and even the basic social security system. His remarks about how the elderly, the disabled, and individuals with limited mobility could be labeled as frauds simply for being unable to verify their identity shocked the nation. The closure of social security offices in the areas with the greatest need is becoming a mechanism for excluding millions from the social safety net. Against this backdrop, a startling statement from Elon Musk, one of the wealthiest individuals on the planet, receiving approximately $8 million daily from the federal budget in the form of government contracts, calls Social Security a Ponzi scheme, and he supports the reduction of all basic guarantees on which millions of Americans rely. At the same time, Musk is actively investing in Starlink, the FAA, and dual-purpose projects. The value of these contracts increases after he openly voiced support for Trump's re-election. This oligarchic scheme raises suspicions of systemic corruption, where billionaires dictate policy and taxpayers fund their luxury. Casar has become a rare voice of protest, daring to speak the truth directly to the Fox News audience. His stance is clear. It is necessary to restore justice, stop billionaires from parasitizing the state budget, and return priority to the basic needs of the people. Meanwhile, outside the United States, a new front of the trade war is flaring up. Canada is responding to U.S. tariff provocations with 2 waves of unprecedented sanctions. In the first, a 25% duty on $30 billion worth of American goods, including vital categories of food products. In the second, strikes on the most sensitive sectors, $125 billion in tariffs on automobiles, aluminum, and steel. This move is capable of destroying logistics between the two countries, causing supply disruptions, and triggering a wave of inflation in the United States. The automotive sector is suffering first and foremost. Batteries, frames, and sensors for electric vehicles are produced in cooperation with Canada. Severing these ties means higher prices for electric cars and a decline in U.S. competitiveness in the field of green technologies. At the same time, Canada is intensifying trade negotiations with the European Union, South Korea, China, and Southeast Asian countries, creating alternative alliances in which the United States does not participate. 70% of Canada's population supports a firm course toward economic sovereignty. This signifies a potential shift in the entire architecture of North American trade. On the agenda, Canada's detachment from dependence on the United States and the strengthening of its role in global raw material and industrial supply chains. And here is another drama, Tesla's collapse in Europe. Despite a 30% growth in the EV market in the EU, Tesla's sales in Germany have plummeted by 76%. The poll results are shocking. 94% of Germans do not want to buy Musk's cars. The reasons are not only a loss of trust, but also political and ethical motives. Musk's support for right-wing parties, refusal to sign agreements with labor unions, and disregard for EU standards in labor rights and environmental regulations. The largest European pension funds are massively dumping Tesla shares, considering the company a toxic asset. Meanwhile, Volkswagen, BMW, and Renault are showing growth. They are hiring local workers, engaging in dialogue with labor unions, and supporting decarbonization. Europeans are betting on sustainable development, not scandalous brands. And a blow from the cultural sphere, legendary actor Robert De Niro delivers a harsh critique of Donald Trump. He stated that Trump's behavior is gangsterism, that he threatens democracy, undermines the foundations of the country, and could lead the United States to catastrophe. Within 24 hours, his speech generated 350,000 mentions on social media. More than 60% were supportive. De Niro's voice has become a symbol of mass protest and anxiety among the cultural and political elite. Meanwhile, an alarming story involving leaks in chats among high-ranking officials, where details of a military operation were discussed, coordinates, types of weaponry, timing of deployment. Despite the White House's claims that the information was not classified, anxiety is growing in Washington. Why is the investigation being conducted by Elon Musk's team? Why is the White House apologizing if everything was within legal bounds? The public exposure of these details is causing a stir not only in the media but also among military experts. The Department of Defense states that even a partial leak of such data is a threat to strategic security. Yes, formally no classification was violated, but the transfer of operational parameters to civilians closely tied to private business undermines trust in government institutions. The situation in the United States is becoming increasingly tense. The gap between the elites and society is widening. And while billionaires play politics, the fates of millions are at risk. Who will stop this chaos? Who will restore stability and justice? This is a time that demands responsibility, civic engagement, and an honest look at reality. Stay tuned to our broadcasts. We will show what the official news feeds hide. Our investigations are your tool for understanding what is really happening. Because truth is no longer just a value, it is a matter of survival.